right, camera down. Oh, come on. There we go. That's better. All right, let me see if anybody can hear me first and foremost. Hello? Can you hear me okay? I'll keep talking and see if anybody can hear me. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Can we hear me? Yeah, I think you guys can hear me. Detour checked in. It's early. We'll see what happens. As I'm getting old and can't read the computer screen. Hello, hello. How we doing? I asked the question. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Got a couple folks in the building. Perfect. All right. That's what I'd like to hear. I'll give it a few more minutes for people to log in. Hey, Lars. I think I just saw you a few days ago, didn't I? Glad you made it home. For those that don't know, Lars was at Horizons Unlimited this past weekend where I was at, and it was all good. We'll talk a little bit about that. Glad you could join. All righty. Even got my Ranger hat on from the Horizons Unlimited, which is pretty cool. Alrighty. 8:02, I'll kick it off. I'll give it a couple more minutes, see who else is joining. Give you guys the latest and greatest kind of what's been going on. And I don't think I've done one of these since March 1st. I think I missed April altogether. So somewhere back in there. Alrighty. Feel free to ask questions or comment away, whatever you guys want to ask. All right, let's see here. What do we got? 8:02. All right, we might as well get started here. I'll get going. So when's my next off-road ride? So it won't be for a few weeks. End of May. So hello there, TSR. How you doing there? Oh, wow. Horizons Unlimited canceled in Northern California. Bummer. All right. Hey, Detour. So so the next off-road excursion probably won't be, unfortunately, until Memorial Day. Because there's some stuff that we'll talk about this evening that I can't really get to some off-road stuff until then. And then it's going to be kind of packed from that point on for the rest of summer, but it's going to be a little bit quiet on the off-road stuff probably for 3 or 4 weeks. Unfortunately, unless I sneak out and go over and do the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop. And I don't know if you really call it, I mean, it's off-road, but depending on what you consider truly off-road. So no wild excursions there. Oh, that's right. Hey, yeah, you're going to the Trans-American Trail. That's going to be awesome. I at some stage, there's a few of us that talked about doing that as well. So, all right. So, hey, I wanted to let me kick this off real quick. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about March Moto Madness. Had a great time. If you guys saw the videos, if you haven't, the water crossings were fantastic. I think that was, I don't know, well, our first day there. We got there Wednesday and kind of did the water crossings. I think I made some of the folks in our group a little angry because it was pretty deep. I mean, we had a lot of rain. If you didn't know, in Tennessee, it was came down pretty hard for a few days prior to that, and those water crossings were pretty deep. I mean, we survived them and did well. Obviously, our boots and stuff got wet, but from what I found out for later in the week, I think there was 2 or 3 Pan Americans and an Africa Twin. Especially the Africa Twin had to be turned upside down and like torn apart for like 3 or 4 hours to get it out of there. Got waterlogged. So I think we felt pretty fortunate, especially if you see the videos. My buddy Tim there got his the GSA all the way down to its butt in the water, so that was pretty wild. So it was a good time. Yes, definitely deep there, TSR, definitely deep. So yeah, as someone would say, pretty sketchy, depending on what your level of comfort is going through water. And but it was pretty fun. So overall, March Moto Madness, I felt like it was maybe down a little bit in attendance. I don't know if anybody else felt that way. If you're out there and you were there, compared to the year prior, it seemed a little light. But that's my perspective. I think, in general, it's funny. I had, some conversation with folks on March Moto Madness, and please chime in if you guys hear some of this. March Moto Madness has been around for 16 years, and it seems like you've got the folks that stay on site, got folks that stay off site. It's kind of like everybody's got their own little band of brothers type of thing, like the little cliques and stuff like that. And that, it's all cool. I think the one thing that, to me, March Moto Madness could do that some other places do is there's a lot of new people that come into adventure riding. I mean, again, including myself for the most part, a little over 2 years now. For new people that are coming in, it would be nice to maybe have them set up some rides. I might try to suggest that through the GS Giants stuff that I do, but maybe some rides for, beginners, intermediate folks that, are just new to this, and really try to help them out and get them comfortable, whether it's just the 2 or 3 hours in the morning, lead a ride, get a couple people, maybe lead some rides and stagger the, going out and then come back by lunch or whatever, just to help the community out. Because I know Steve, who's become friends with, he's relatively new, and some other folks. It'd be kind of nice to, get people that maybe are not as bold and as the dual sport folks and some of the guys that have been riding for a while on the adventure bikes that go ripping it up. So those are some things that I kind of wish maybe they would do a little bit different. But that's just me. Hey everyone, what's going on? New adventure right here, shopping for a jacket, pants set, of mind sharing what you use. So Dan, all right, so that's March Moto Madness. Just a little bit of a sidebar on that. So new rider shopping for jacket, pants setup. So Dan, it really comes down to, in my opinion, on what kind of riding you're going to do. And I know that's a normal statement, but I would definitely go with something Gore-Tex. If you're gonna do long hauls, you're gonna go do BDRs, you're gonna do those type of things. Now, there's 2 ways to look at it. I have a Gore-Tex suit. I have a Badlands Pro suit from Klim. Now, granted, that's again a little bit of the top of the line. You can get I think the Badlands, the one in between that and or is it the Carlsbad? Anyhow, you can get the Badlands one, and that'll suffice for everything. I mean, but like the Pro one that I have, it's just heavy. It is extremely heavy. And if you stop during the summertime, it gets hot. There's a lot of ventilation, so if you're moving, you're okay. But I would probably do the next one down just because it gives you Gore-Tex. Now, some of us do. I do the Baja S4 in the summertime, and then I buy I think it's the Baja water the jacket that goes over top. That's a rain jacket and pants, and so you could do that too as an option. I do you want to carry that other stuff? And it's pretty tight. I mean, you can roll up the pants and the jacket and put them in your side bag or just another bag and wear them and wear the Baja stuff because it's breathable and cool. But if you're going to do something year round, I would look at a suit that's year round. I don't like the zipper liners and all that stuff because then you're taking liners out, got to put them back in if it rains, that type of thing. And trust me, that's a pain in the butt. Like if you're in the middle of the highway or the middle of forest, got to take your pants off, got to drop them, got to put the inserts in. I just find that's just non-conducive. So I would look at something that's either a full Gore-Tex, suit, or look for the other option there as far as something goes like that. Now I use Climb. I know depending on your size, and I'm a big guy, so I'm wearing XX and XXX depending on what the cut is. So but Revit runs a little bit smaller, but they have some great stuff as well. And then MSR, I don't know if you guys see Ben from Dork in the Road or Ian from Big Rock Moto. They've done some things on MSR and from Rocky Mountain ADV. And it looks like pretty quality stuff from what I gather from what I saw their reviews on. I've never tried the gear, but they, obviously they've reviewed it, and it seems to be pretty good for the price. And so if you don't want to spend Climb money or Revit money, that might be an option for you at Rocky Mountain ADV, the MSR gear. So that gives you an idea. Saddlebag set, something strong that stays on. Yeah, Detour, I'd have to tell you, to me, the Moscow stuff is the best, hands down. Now, I ride with 4 other GSA guys that all have Lone Rider. They love it. Now, I know one guy that's had some issues with one of his side panniers, a lock breaks, but they replace it. But the Moscow gear I found has been great. Now there is Wolfman Luggage and Giant Loop and others. I'm not familiar with them. I know people that use them. They've never had any issues with them. Even Nelson Rig, but I'm a big Moscow fan, and I can't say anything bad about it. And I've put my bike in the gear through what. So it's definitely there. CE armor, then throw the armorless jacket pants over. Yeah, Adventure Lifer. Yeah, I get that, absolutely. It's a two-prong approach there. I understand that. Hey Steve, how you doing? Let's see. Yeah, weather, definitely. Lars, there's also a lot of awesome paved roads in my. Yeah, there are, Lars. I mean, we didn't do any. I mean, to a certain degree, but yeah, there are a lot of nice paved roads all over the place there. Obviously, you can go all the way down to the tail of the Dragon and do some of that stuff if you wanted to. So if you're not doing so much the off-road, there's a lot of things to do on-road as well. There's a lot of great riding. No problem, Dan. I have MSR pants and they fit great. Seem to work. Yeah. So Steve, you got the MSR stuff. So that's a great comment there. But yeah, I've heard, like I said, I've seen the two guys that, especially Ian, who I've got to know a little bit. And, I kind of trust their reviews that they're giving an honest one on that. So, and Ian's, and Ben so far has been pretty good about that stuff. Yeah, Moscow Moto. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we were talking a little bit about March Moto Madness, and then I went into the Fool's Ride. You guys probably saw some of that video. I would tell you, Kane does a very nice job at Appalachian Adventure. So If you're ever in the Midwest, up in this neck of the woods, the Pennsylvania, West Virginia, northeastern Ohio area, Kane Wagner does a great job from Appalachian Adventure. The Fools Ride is really fantastic. If you're a dual sport person and you're intermediate to advanced on off-road, depending, especially on big bikes, those are the type of rides that's going to be good for you. Now, they did have, lighter rides where it was just gravel and some pavement and some gravel, which were very easy rides, for intermediate or beginner riders. But if you wanted really some challenging stuff, you saw probably some of the videos. The last one will be out on Friday in a couple of days, and it'll show the balance of that. Unfortunately, you probably heard I kind of tore up my KTM already. Blew out a little bit of the windshield, shaved a blinker off. And you'll see a little bit of the carnage. The unfortunate thing of all the accidents, all the falls that I've shown throughout my time, I didn't have my video camera going on that, and it was a pretty, probably, I don't know, I say 80 to 100 foot going straight down here. It was like in a U-shaped bowl or whatever, and a shale, and there was 12 to like 24-inch rock drop offs. I got going too hot, couldn't get my rear brake engaged. I got about 80% of the way down there, and I did what you shouldn't do, and which is grab the front brake, and it folded right up underneath me, and I destroyed my climb helmet. I'm still sore to this day. I still have my rib cage and my sternum and stuff like that still hurts. So yeah, it was, but it was a great time. I learned a lot, pushed myself beyond my limits. I mean, I know I've ridden with Tim and we did 3 miles of hell last year, but this one really pushed my limits as well. So it was good. It was fun. It's a great experience. Everybody was fantastic. So we had a great time. So if you ever get a chance to do the Fools Ride, I would tell you to come on out for that one. Let's see. That great meeting this last Saturday. Oh yeah. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking my jacket to Tom's. It was pretty warm. All that quick. Yep. I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, it got a little hot on Saturday during the training, didn't it? Let's see, Michael, Gore-Tex, ring set in the pannier, pop up for shot. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the layers, I get it. The layers are, to me, is probably a great way to go. It really comes down to how much money you want to invest in your gear. It just does. And I think, you could go either way. But if you had one, if you can only afford really one and you wanted to do it all in one suit, I'd get the Gore-Tex thing. If you can afford some different layers and stuff like that, then, go that route completely. Yeah, Steve, the last video was pretty gnarly. Unfortunately, the GoPro, as you guys know, and many have said, it just doesn't show you the undulations and the steepness, and you'll get a grasp of that in the second video on Friday. There was a couple of times it was so steep that I actually turned my engine off and just used the clutch and brake to go down the hill, and you guys will see that, obviously. Looking for a trail that I can tow behind my Jeep for longer trips. I don't. Extremely busy for yeah. On trailers, I lucked out. A friend of mine, again, I lucked out with the aluminum trailer that I have. I think it's a 6x10 single axle trailer. I paid like $3,800 for it. I like it because at the end of the day, if I don't want to camp, I've set it up to where I could, got a cot and stuff in the trailer. So that's the advantage of having a closed trailer versus an open trailer. But there's plenty out there. It's just, you can find some deals on them. Go to like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. Definitely probably stay with aluminum, because everybody that, when I was researching them or asking, just the aluminum's a lot lighter to move around by hand if you need to do that. Oh yeah, Ed Keen's right. I mean, it's great. Yeah. Rackless, Intermittent Nelson rig, Hurricane Pre-Moscow is my pick for the best rackless. Yeah. Hey buddy, what's going on from Lost Last Adventure Travel? Hey, I get it. Trust me, there's different levels, different all kinds of stuff that goes on there. Just again, it just comes down to how much money you want to spend. Do you make the investment up front, or do you try something out for a year or two and then figure out what you like to get? I have a tendency of just spending the money, and it is a lot of money out there. I mean, it costs a lot to get into this stuff, as you guys know. Uh, yeah, definitely detour. Get an aluminum trailer. I agree with that. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, the KTM runs. I had to put another new tire on it. It gashed the tire, which only had a couple hundred miles on it. Like you said, windshield. It's running. The guys at KTM laughed at me because I had to take it in. The unfortunate part is there's no parts. Like I can't get a windshield. Earliest they're showing a windshield coming in is like August. Same thing with the right blinker, the front blinker. There's no aftermarket parts. There's nothing, and so I guess I'll just be riding around with a little bit of character to it. So that's all good. Yeah. Uh, I remember that, Steve. I've started saying that in the videos, so you'll get a little bit more of that at the beginning. So I was getting a little harassment out there by not saying life's journey in 50 of my videos at the beginning. So it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So again, Kane's ride at the Fools thing was fantastic. Does such a great, and Mama Wags and his wife and everybody in the family and the folks that are really putting on the meals and stuff do a great job there as well. We couldn't say enough about Jim, and his property is pretty amazing, where he hosted it, and then the riding area. I mean, it's really complimentary. He has a great foothold there for the Fools ride. Um, so let me see what was next. Oh, I want the Horizons Unlimited started off there. If Lars, you're still on there. Horizons Unlimited, if you guys don't know what that is, Horizons Unlimited really focuses in on folks that are traveling not only in the US, but really globally. And it was really, I've got a video of a good friend of mine that lives here in Cincinnati, Steve Madden. It's going to come out next week. And Steve talked about his trip to Asia. I mean, this is a person that, has rode in South Korea. He's been in Mongolia, Russia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, you name it. I mean, he's gone all over, and you'll see the chart and stuff next Tuesday, and all through Europe and Italy and Northern Africa, and that's not including what I'm going to interview him about. Is he just got done going all the way through South America to Ushuaia? So, I amazing people at this Horizons Unlimited. It's not really, it wasn't about riding and routes and getting out and doing this. It was more about the stories and the interactions on how to travel. There was packing seminars. There was, how to cross borders, and just, it was really interesting. Unfortunately, I missed Thursday, the start of it. I missed basically all day Friday because I didn't get there till late. And then I got recruited, which I felt pretty good about. Tom Asher, I guess if you're the only one that's there and get recruited, does that mean you really got recruited? So Tom Asher asked me to help out in his training class. We had a blast on that. I actually got to do a little bit of a training part because we broke up the class into two. Felt very, very proud that Tom had enough faith in me to or felt I had enough skill set to do at least a little portion of that. But really, as when you're the sweep, you're the bike picker upper. So I probably picked up 15, 17 bikes, and then after what happened at Fool's Ride, I was sore coming home. So, but boy, it rained Friday, Sunday, but it was beautiful on the way home. I mean, while we were there on Saturday. So, uh, yeah. Thanks, Steve, on the interviews. Yeah, and I also have another interview coming up. I interviewed her name's Renee, and she's been doing this just a shade more than I have. She's in her 50s as well, but she's got an initiative, and I'm not going to break it now, but there's an initiative that she wants to start amongst the ADV community, and we'll see what the traction is. I would love to have your guys' feedback the next time I do a live stream, but I'm going to showcase, and I think there's, something commendable about what she wants to start in the ADV community, and I think, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I got another interview there. Supposed to meet with Tom. I'm going to try to get out to his training class Mother's Day weekend. Going to try to sit down with Tom for an hour and have a conversation with him on what he's doing. He dropped a video the other day. His expert level training, folks. If you're really wanting to learn like true next level, like expert stuff, his training ground down in Georgia is absolutely, in the video that he put together, that he had a professional person put it together. It's pretty radical. I mean, radical, whatever. It's aggressive, and you really got to be on top of your game. So when you see the video, you'll understand. But Tom Asher just does a great job in training in general. He's just so gentle, and I say gentle in the way that he helps everybody depending on whatever skill level you're at. He's not going to push you so hard to where it makes you want to fail or makes you want to give up. He really is very supportive, and so I'm really happy about that. Link to the video by any chance? Which video? Sorry, I got rambling there. So Detour just asked me which video, and I can throw that back out that way. So, so let me know. Any other questions out there? Got a lot of stuff that's happening. I'll wait until you guys get caught up there. So, big news. You guys will see that video. Tom's video. I will try to grab it. It's not on mine. I will try to grab it and share it. If not, I will try to get it. Any issues with the 8? So Tom, I will try to grab that. Michael, on the 890, none. I'm very happy with it. It's actually exactly what I thought it would be. And again, reason why I got the 890 is because I rode the 790R in Colombia for over 1,000 miles for a little over a week, and it's really a great bike. I'm really really happy with it. Now, granted, it will never replace Cap. It'll never replace my GSA, but I love having it as my secondary bike. I love having it that if we're going to do some gnarly stuff, yeah, I could do it on my GSA, but I can tell you what, that 100+ pounds lighter really helped a little bit when I was on the tough stuff with the dual sporters. It's really a sweet spot of a bike, and I know I'll get harassment from a few of my buddies because they say that I've went to the KTM dark side. So, but it's a great bike. It's a great bike. Never been on the road when Tom demonstrated ABS. Never seen it yet. Oh my God. Yes. I have video of it. If you guys see it. So Tom, if you've ever been to Tom Asher's classes, he tries to teach, going fast, hit the ABS, or, non-ABS. He did this the other day, and folks, I have to tell you, we all thought for sure Tom was lost it. He fishtailed it, and I mean, I'm not talking like fishtail. I'm talking he was like this, and then flipped it back like this. And I have the video of it. It will be shared. Probably will take me a week or so, a little over a week. I thought for sure that the bike was just going to do one of those things where you see on the Instagrams, or the TikToks, where the guy loses it and the bike just starts flipping and takes people out. We all like froze. And if I would have been dead, there's no doubt about it, because I was filming the class and Tom's ripping. And if you know Tom, he's going 100 miles an hour and he locks it up, and it slid on some grass, the back end. And I think he tapped on the rear brake. And he even, when he got done, he even though he chuckled about it, but he got it under control. Got to give him credit. Anybody else would have probably lost it. So, yeah, it was crazy, man. Um, yeah, I'll do that. Definitely do that. Matt, based on your recommendation for a few other months, I got the Motaz traction adventure tires on my tool. Works great so far. Like, yeah, no, glad that the adventure tire. So I've moved to the Rouse for both because I do a little bit more trailering now, so I don't have to. But the adventure, the 80, the Rouse in the front and the adventure tire in the back, to me was a great setup. I never had any issues last year with all the stuff that we did. It tore it up. I got a little bit more aggressive tire with the Rouse in the back. I'm going to see what that's all about this year because I'm making a full changeover to that setup for the whole year. But glad my recommendation. Glad you're enjoying the tires. Oh, what are my thoughts on demo? I personally on the demo mode from KTM or any of them, like even BMW is starting to do some of that stuff on demo mode where you've got a subscription or whatever. I think it's garbage. I really do. I think you're already paying a premium for these bikes. We know the cost has gone up on them. It's just another way to generate revenue from the companies. And I understand it. I mean, if you guys, I don't know if you guys saw this the other day, Harley Davidson. Now, granted, I haven't seen the numbers from the other motorcycle company, but Harley Davidson's down 14% this year so far in sales. They've really taken it on the chin. Their repossessions, they've averaged, I don't know, 1.3% repos over the last, I think, 5 to 7 years, whatever the trend line is. This year, repos are up 3.9%. Tells me that the industry is struggling a little bit, obviously. And if Harley's down at 14%, what does that say for the other companies? Are they up, down? I don't know. I haven't researched it much other than what I saw from Friday's financial releases. But what I will say is that these demo modes and everything are just another way. It's like a subscription, Netflix, it's, Hulu, whatever. I don't think it's right. I mean, I put the whole package together and got it at once, and just so I didn't have to deal with it. But I don't feel it's right. But we as consumers, we're going to buy it. We're going to do it because we want it, and they know it, and that they're going to hang it over your head. And the only way that you fight back on that is by not buying the products. And so it's a tough one. And but I don't think it's right. I think they should just it's a bundle package, just like if you wanted to add heated grips or if you wanted to do this, just make a price for it, and you either get it or you don't get it. And but don't make it like a subscription thing. I think that's wrong. In my personal opinion, I think that's wrong. Yeah, Detour Motaz tires, orange side. It looked like it. Yeah, it did handle great in the rough stuff. I will say that. How can we get a Midwest? So Michael, I would tell you, I do have knowledge that there is a BDR being made in the Southeast. It has been tracked now for 3 years, and it is being developed. I still think that they have a year to 2 away before they'll launch it. But they are working on it this summer. I do know that. And that's about all I can say about it. But yes, there won't be an X, but it'll be a full-on BDR that will traverse through the Southeast. It'll end up obviously, trying to dovetail into Damascus for the Mid-Atlantic BDR. So that tells you that you're going to be down through probably, the Carolinas, Georgia, rambling up through Tennessee and stuff like that. And who knows how they'll loop it around, quote unquote, back to try to get you close to Damascus. But do know that there is a BDR being set up in the Southeast. And I would expect probably in the next 18 to 24 months would be my assumption. But that's as good intel as I can get you. If I had more, I probably would be sworn to secrecy or killed. So Yeah, the BDRXs are a good idea, Lars. Like if you can't take a full week to go do them, they're made for like weekends, and they're very, very good. The PA ones, nice. Um, let's see. I'll just keep my KLR. I gotcha. Yeah, Michigan's fun too. A lot of sand up there, man. Especially if you get up to the UP. All that sand, crazy. Yeah, Southeast BDR. It will be fantastic. Yeah, Michigan. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. If you want to saw one of my first videos, I think I may have talked about this before, but oh my God, I was up in the UP, got off track. I was in sand, fully loaded, had Trail Max missions, which are great tires, but not deep sand or deep mud. And man, it's one of the most, to me, a funny video, just because I forgot I left my camera on, I put my helmet down, and it's got me swearing at my bike, the Garmin, everybody under the sun. It's hilarious. To me, it's pretty hilarious. There's about 10 minutes there that you guys would die laughing. Maybe a Horizons Unlimited Midwest. Yeah, that would probably be nice. Everything seems to be so either way on the coast or way over on the West Coast. So it's kind of hard to find all those sweet spots here. Um, you know, I know the Giants are doing a big rally first week of June or first weekend of June, and that's in the Ozarks. But yeah, you're right. You're either got to go out towards the Badlands or California or Washington, Oregon, or you got to go to Connecticut up through that way for like the Tour Tech, I think has their shindig, where you've got to go, places way on the east. It'd be nice to have some more stuff in the Midwest, but I don't know. It's just it seems like they break it up that way. All right, 8:35. Let me see here. Been said. Thank you for promoting the Midwest as a mother. Oh yeah. No, I think we have a lot in the Midwest that is probably unsung. I mean, I've tried to do a little bit of the Indiana Adventure Trail or Loop or whatever they call it. Michigan's got some great riding. Obviously, here in Wayne National Forest and stuff that Keene does up in the eastern part of Ohio is fantastic because it butts up against you. Get into West Virginia. I mean, our group's gone to West Virginia. There's some great riding there. You get down to Kentucky and do the Cat and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in this Midwest area that really could be developed. And people are trying, right? I mean, they're trying to put some stuff together that's enjoyable and can fit different skill levels, right? Because not everybody's an expert, not everybody's intermediate. Some people are dip their toe into just doing some gravel and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that in the Midwest that's really, really good. I'm like Seaspring complete on development Ohio River to Lake Erie route. Oh, that would be great if you came up with a route. I think that would be fun, right? To be able to go from Ohio River all the way up to Lake Erie and back. I think that would be fantastic. Yeah, Steve, you are kind of in that flatland area, so makes it kind of difficult depending on what you find, but the terrain, and I think that's part of the reason why maybe some of the companies don't do the events in the Midwest unless they go to Missouri and go to the Ozarks or something like that, and because they need some of those facilities like that. Um, Detour, let us know. People are always looking to do stuff. Cat's a rough one, from what I understand. Cat's not a friendly environment for the bigger bikes, so that should be a fun trip. All right, so it's 8:40. I got a video breaking on Tuesday. I sold the Touareg 660. Some of you probably know or might know, but I sold my Touareg 660. Actually, I will be delivering it on Friday. Um, so I did get rid of my Touareg 660, and a little bit not bummed, but I mean it was sitting in the garage, and yeah, I sold it. Yeah, Detour, I sold it. And I got what I asked for it. There was no qualms about it. I mean, heck, some people. It was funny. I did post it in Marketplace, and the number I had it on, people were giving me a hard time, and I'm like, for what I have it there and what's on the bike, like it's ready to go. Like you buy it and you could roll it right off, throw some bags on, you're gone. And which I thought was kind of funny. Um, and I'll tell you, I will tell you that I sold it because it was sitting in the garage and it sits right between the 890 and my 1250 GSA. It is more of a, I would say, 60% touring, 40% off road, in my opinion, on the Touareg. And I just felt like if I was going to tour and do long hauls and I'm going to go do BDRs or I'm going to go ride cross country, there's nothing better than my GSA. We can drop gloves or whatever about it all day long, but my GSA, if I'm going to do long hauls, is the bike for me. Just makes sense. If I'm going to do some heavy off road and I'm going to get aggressive with that, not that the Touareg can't handle that, but I've got the 890 that could tear up the off road. So it was just sitting there, and I wasn't using it much. I was only keeping it running, every few days, starting it up, taking it basically around the block for 3 or 4 miles, and there's just no sense in having a bike sitting around like that. It's a beautiful bike. It really is. Like if you're getting into adventure riding or you're looking for something that you don't want the heavier bikes, you want something that's going to give you a lot more. Like I even say in my video, it's more comfortable riding than the Africa Twin was. And you guys know my feelings about the Africa Twin. Haha. But even the T7, the Tenere, it's more refined than Tenere. Again, comfort, tech, different riding modes, all that stuff, suspension, better than the T7. And it was really a sweet spot. Like if you really wanted a nice bike in the low 400 weight range, almost couple 100 pounds, 150, 175 pounds lighter than the big bikes, it's a nice bike for anybody. And but it just sat in my garage, and there was no sense in me just sitting there, not using it. And who knows? I've had some conversations about something else because these dual sport guys have gotten into my head, and a couple of my buddies are talking about a dual sport bike, but we'll see. It's not going to happen this year, though. That's for sure. But or maybe I don't know. But I think at this stage of the game, I've got 2 bikes that are very capable to do anything that I really want, and then I've got my R9T, which I just love. That anything less than a couple 100 miles, I ride that thing around here. So, but yes, I did sell it. Southeast Illinois, Lupa, Chad, Trishy. Okay. Oh, Dan, yeah, no, again, great bike. You're gonna love it. It is a fantastic bike. I just sold it because of what I just talked about. So, it's really nothing against the bike. It's the fact that I've got 3 here, and it kind of sits between both of them, and I just don't ride it. It's a great bike. It really is. Oh yeah. So Laura McCartney. So that picture right there that he's talking about, the painting. Laura McCartney, she's actually going to be at Whalen Wayne weekend. So if you're coming to Whalen Wayne, she's an artist inside the ADV community. She is just, you can't help. She has an infectious smile. She's just got a great personality. She has done painting. She actually did another one over here. I won't grab it now, but you can commission her, and I sent her a couple different photos or whatever. And that's actually was when I was out in Dragoo's last year, and that's the blue underneath is sand. I was on the sand standing up, but she did a great job capturing that image of me on the bike. I wish I was about that thin. Boy, that's looking, not even close to being me, but I'll take it all day long. I think I paid Laura extra to make me look thin. So she does a great job. It's just really abstract, and I think she does a fantastic job. So if you're at Whale and Wayne weekend, she's going to be there. She's going to have a booth set up, and stop by if you're there and see her. I think she does some great work. So yeah, so yeah, gang. So I sold the bike. Really going to concentrate on for really part of the reason why I'm not really riding too much this month. I need to get better. My rib cage and stuff for the accident that I had a couple of weeks ago at the Fool's Ride still hurts. Like I said, I didn't break any ribs, but I bruised the rib cage pretty good, almost like cracking a rib or whatever, and then bruised my sternum and bruised my pectoral muscle as well. So, and then after being with Tom this past weekend, picking up bikes, it didn't help any. So, a few weeks off. I'm gonna, like I said, go run out to Tom's to see him and see some of the training. Hopefully on Mother's Day weekend. And then my buddy Tim and I are planning on taking off and doing some West Virginia stuff, Kentucky stuff, Memorial Day weekend. Just going out, getting out 3 or 4 days, and then the MOA rally is 2 weeks later in Virginia, so make the run there. So if you're going to the MOA by any chance, I'll be there. And then a few weeks later, we're running the Northeast BDR in reverse. We're going north to south, so that'll take us all the way through basically that July 1st, to July 4th. So yeah, so I do have, slate there. Soggy Bottom Days is going to be last week of July, last weekend in July up in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. And August comes around. Don't know what I'm doing in August yet. I have some feelers out for some stuff out west. I have to be in Denver for some work stuff, so I might parlay that into something. And then really it's Whale and Wayne weekend. And then, God, you start thinking about it's already the end of summer and getting into fall. So pretty crazy. But yeah. Any other questions? Anything out there? Let's see. I'm trying to work on any videos that are coming up. So I told you guys on video wise, we got part 2 of the series on the expert ride. That'll be dropped Friday. Tuesday is going to be about the Steve Madden stuff and Horizons Unlimited. Give you guys a little taste of his journey through Europe and Asia. It won't be too long. I try to keep my videos down to 10 minutes or so. Then following after that will probably be the interview with Renee. Or I might show the training stuff that Asher did. And again, you got to see what Tom did. I mean, when he fishtailed it, we thought for sure if I had pictures of people's eyes, it'd be deer in headlights. Probably the training, and then I'll get to Renee and we'll figure that out. We'll stagger that out. And then trying to do the Tom Asher interview as well. So that'll be a little bit later on. And then still going to get back to doing some of the bike stuff. I did do 1,000-mile KTM review, so you'll see that. Heck, I've got to get that one up and running, so that'll probably be next week as well. And just talk about my first 1,000 miles on my KTM and kind of my thoughts on it. And so yeah, I have sold the bike. I got the Steve Madden interview. I've got the KTM 1,000-mile review. Then I'm going to get into the interview, Tom Asher's training. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline. I mean, that's kind of how we try to work these things. And then probably discuss. There's a few different bags. I did buy some. Well, I have some Wolfman, some Nelson Rig stuff, and my Moscow stuff that I want to talk about a little bit on baggage. I know we talked a little bit about bags as well, so I'm going to try to talk a little bit about some of that. And then some tent setup stuff that I have from Lone Rider. So slate's full, but try to keep them coming. Let's see. Oh, Dan, on don't forget what I said. Whale and Wayne weekend in TSR. I got September already locked in, baby. Hotel or camping Northeast BDR. Dan, we are. So I'm a little bit of a planner. There's 5 of us on GSA's riding the Northeast BDR. We're planning on doing the expert section. So yes, those big pigs are going to be put to the test because everybody's told us it's the second toughest BDR. So we will put our rigs to the test. Um, I'm a planner. There's two of us that are kind of planners. The other three are really not. So um, we have some plans on when we on our way there. We're doing some Airbnb stuff, and we haven't talked about going home. We're probably going to wing it. Now, granted, Rob Nye from the GS Giants that I'm on the board with, he lives off of one of the sections. He's offered up his. He's got like 100 and some acres, so he's offered us up to stay there one night. I just noticed one of our guys just pointed out there's another guy that lives on the route that's offered up his acreage or whatever for people to camp out on. So we might, boondock it a little bit. We might try to do. We definitely know we're probably going to stay at least 2 to 3 nights in a hotel on the trip, just because, like anybody else, not necessarily about a great night of sleep. It's more also just about getting a nice hot shower and something decent versus some campground that the showers don't work or whatever. And I do like a little bit of creature comforts, and so does the rest of us. So, but if we don't, we don't. We just keep riding. So, but yes, probably more tenting than hotel. So, if that answers your question in a roundabout way. Steve, thank you. I can't say enough, but thank you for saying those kind words. I try. I do my best to try to for in the community in general, being still a new person in all this, is to try to give things that I've done or things that I've experienced or know from other people, or really from my experience. I've been very fortunate to do the travel and been to events and stuff that I've been to at least give a little bit of insight on some of the things and try different arenas of whether it's training or gear or boots or bikes, or obviously I've gone through bikes like it's like I got an issue. So as a couple of people have said, I have issues. um Lars, thank you as well. I appreciate that. It's great to know. Again, my whole perspective is to give you guys kind of the real world from this perspective. I mean, obviously, you see me drop the bikes. I do my stupid stuff. You know, it is what it is. But I try to keep it real, so you guys get a good taste of kind of what it's like out here. It is hard. I would tell you, the training class that I helped Tom with really gave me a little bit more level set, because there were folks in there that were roughly my age, that were off road for the first time. They had street tires on. You can imagine it was pretty muddy, and we're picking up the bikes and stuff, but their spirits were good, and you keep their spirits up and you help people, and that's what I found about this community, is that it's very helpful. In the community to support one another, and we get a lot of that stuff done. And even when I was on, I was prime example. I'm on the dual sport advanced ride. Now I'm riding a bigger bike. There was a 1250 GSA, shaved off his nose, broke his beak on the bike. Had a great time, good rider, but that big bike on those trails were pretty rough. Then you have myself and Chad Warner were on the 890Rs, and Chad did a great job, but I consider him an expert rider. And so I rode towards the tail end, because those dual sport guys, man, getting gone, and they're riding up the side. I didn't even get a lot of that footage of them riding up the side of the hill and turning around, coming down. They're crazy guys, crazy. But it helped me push, just like my buddy Tim always pushes me a little bit when we go off the beaten path, or Tom pushes me as well. But as you start stair stepping into this adventure riding, each little thing is going to push you to the next level. And as you get more and more comfortable, the more and more you get comfortable with understanding your bike, understanding how you feel on it, and understanding what it takes to be successful, or at least semi-successful. So in that training over with Tom, it really, I felt like I was giving back and helping the community. And it was really, really nice. I even met a guy, he was there from Cincinnati. We've corresponded already. He wants to, ride a little bit. And again, I don't mind riding with anybody and trying to help them because people help me. So again, it's kind of like pay it forward or pay it back or whatever you want to say. But yeah, it's been really great. So I enjoy that. And you're enjoying your candor. Thank you. No matter, I appreciate that. I try to keep it, keep it that way. Nomad Sweden. All right, I'll have to check that out. Highway 17. What's going on? Farnborough and Colebrook, Connecticut. Pretty sure it's just off the free camping, great food and beer I can give you. Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely. If you could share, that'd be great. I'll share it even with the community if you don't mind. But yeah, I'll always love to have options because we'll be boogieing through and depending on where we're at. And if you guys have done BDRs, you guys probably know this. It's to me, this is the fun debate that we have with our group is I prefer to get up early in the morning and get as much as I can done and then start looking for a place around 4 or 5 o'clock. So we can have time to set up camp and relax and actually, decompress and take our time instead of getting someplace at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night and then feel rushed and then you got to go like that. So I like to get up early and get going and get as many miles under the belt as possible because you don't know what you're going to face. You don't know what challenge you're going to face. You can have flat tires. You can have mechanical issues. You can whatever, road closures, heavy rains, washout areas, so that's great to know that stuff, Sean. So greatly. Yeah, no big deal about being late. That's great. But yeah, anything you can share would be fantastic. So yeah, on the BDRs, I keep them rolling. Plan to do a video on how you plan your rides and routes. I've thought about doing a video on how I plan the rides and routes. I have to tell you, sometimes I get on the bike and I just go. I pick like a destination, then we'll go. We have tried to do the planning on, like, prime example is Northeast BDR. I don't know how much of a video would help, but we did come up and maybe I'll share that and I will do the video on that. I came up with a laundry list and I have to give credit to someone that I really don't want to give credit to because it's one of the individuals that I have found that's not been very nice in the ADV community after getting to know the person. But it was a good, solid plan about planning out who's going to take what on a trip. And we discussed it. We got 5 GSAs, right? So all 5 of us don't need the same toolkit. Probably only 2 sets of tools. Like I'm bringing the spare tubes. Even though we run tubeless tires, if you cut a tire or whatever, you're going to need a tube because you're not going to have enough patch to do a sidewall or whatever. So, I'm going to bring a couple of 19-inch tubes because 19 can fill a 17. Don't need a 17. Just get some 19s. Medical kits. Do you need 5 or is 2 enough? Right. So those are things that I would say if you're planning a trip and you're going on with a bunch of other people, if you have similar bikes or you have multiple bikes that are the same, talk about the group and maybe cutting down weight because that's always a big challenge for all of us is we probably overpack by 20% because we think we're going to need things. But if you're riding similar bikes and you can divvy up get some weight off of people's bikes and share some of the things that you guys carry, those are tips that I would think that would be great. And maybe, that's a good thought on that. I have to give that a thought and put that together. So thank you for giving me that thought. But yeah, you can do that. We do that. And we have done that for the Northeast BDR. Like who's going to carry medical, who's going to carry tubes, who's going to carry tool sets. Again, it's just about weight distribution, taking weight off the bikes. We're going to be doing expert sections, as you guys know. when you guys get into the thick of it, the lighter the bike, the better off you can be, if possible. So that's a great idea. So thank you. Buffalo Wild Wings, courtesy of my son before he left for the military. He took that from the local beat ups. Yeah. Steve, you are married to a saint. If she's going to allow you to go out and get a GS8 and an 890, God bless you. All I know is you've got to be treating her right somehow, some way. So I only get away with this stuff because, as everybody probably knows, I'm single. So I don't have to hear about it. Although my ex-wife does give me a hard time, especially when she finds out that I have an accent, because she does not, necessarily want me to go away. But I keep telling her, I said, most of the life insurance goes to her and my daughter and son. So she benefits anyway. So at least I can laugh about it. Oh, man. All right. I've been on here for an hour. I don't know. You guys got anything else you want me to talk about? I've talked about March Moto Madness. I talked about the Fool's Ride. We got Horizons Unlimited, kind of the next stuff in the video pipeline. I don't know what else we've got going on here. Oh no, Sean. I am definitely worth more under the 6 foot under than I am above it. So I guess that's maybe the reason why I ride the way I ride, right? But no, seriously, I my kids, my daughter would miss me, and I think my son would too. Maybe. ADV life, I do. I want to get out west. I do want to get out west. I had the incident with Wyoming, which obviously went over like a fart in church. So I definitely am going to get out west, and I'm not even talking like Colorado, Wyoming stuff. I mean, Oregon, Washington, California, to get out there and ride, whether go down to Baja or whatever. It takes planning on my part. Part of what I do, or part of what, this is stuff that I share with you guys. I have a special needs daughter. So my ex and I, although we live really super close, I do have, split time. And it makes it hard for me to get out west. Just because, as everybody knows, if I even trailing or riding, it's 2-3 days. I mean, it's basically a couple of days just to get out to Denver and Wyoming. I mean, it's a full 1,000 miles only gets me to the end of Kansas. So it's a 2 or 3 days out, 2 or 3 days back. That's a week. Spend a week, so you're talking at 2 weeks. I mean, I have flexibility at work, which is not a big deal. I can, do my riding and stuff like that, and do my thing or whatever. That, and again, I've always said I'm blessed to be in that position. But I would love to get out west and spend some serious time. So, but it takes some pre-planning and some negotiation on my part. So I do plan on doing that in the future. Definitely planning on doing that next year, whether it's ADV Fest or something of that nature. I know they just had one. I think it was last weekend or weekend before last. I know Ian and Ben from from Dork on the Road were doing some videos on it. But that's my goal, is to get out and go to a festival out that way, whether it's the Tour Tech one or Expo West or whatever it is. But yeah, I do plan on trying to get out there. It's a beautiful part of the country. Why not, right? Next year. Yeah, next year, TSR. Next year for sure. Yeah, Detroit, I've thought about that too. Ship the bike out, right? Fly out and pick it up and ride it around and ship it back home. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to do it, but I like to ride. Like I like the adventure of riding out there, even though it can be boring, especially on 70. Oh my God, it's just like, like wake me up when it's over after doing 1,000 miles on the straight highway, right? But I enjoy the ride out. That's to me part of the windshield time, the experience, stopping in different places, meeting new people and stuff like that. But I get it. To save the time, fly out, and that's not an issue. I guess I could do that too. But I do like the fact of riding out and enjoying that experience of doing that. But it's if time is time, so you got to do what you can do. Sean, you're doing the map. Oh man, damn it. Oh, you guys are killing me, man. Yes, we are doing the Northeast BDR last week of June, buddy. And we're running it north to south. You might as well just stick around and ride with us. I know TSR will probably be mad at me, but we got 5 on GSA, so let's do it. Yeah, Detour, I like to ride out there too. So, all right, gang, it's 9:04. I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Oh, Cadillac. Thank you. Oh yeah, Chad, we talked a little bit about that. I don't know if you caught that earlier in the discussion. I talked a little bit about how they're trying to put together a Southeast BDR, but I also talked a little bit about what we have in the Midwest, and there's some great stuff to ride. So yeah, absolutely. Yes, Steve, I plan on probably being there actually on Mother's Day that morning. I don't think I can make it on Saturday. I'll probably be there Sunday morning as early as I possibly can. Hopefully I get to catch you guys for a little bit of the rest of that class and go from there. Yeah, hey, again, pleasure with everybody. Glad you guys enjoy the content. If there's something else, there's a way to contact me through email, and appreciate you again the support. So if there's anything, feel free to reach out anytime. Love to help out and give whatever advice I possibly could give. So you guys all take care. We'll talk to you soon. I'll do another live one probably. Maybe I'll do it after the MOA and right before we head out to the Northeast BDR and get you guys an update maybe 5-6 weeks out. So. All right, gang. You guys take care. Have yourself a good night, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy Memorial Day weekend, your Mother's Day weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Take care.